Long ago, when Limp Bizkit was still considered cool, a boy named Steven saw an anime of great and terrible power that would change his life forever. And now, 25 years later, that boy is here to overanalyze and ramble on about this show. To you, as destiny has chosen the viewers of this channel to indulge his obsession. Join us on this nostalgia trip. Hello, and welcome to the first part of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Retrospective. This part is going to be more of the personal side of it before critiquing and analyzing the series itself. What I'm going to be doing today is recapping my personal history with Yu-Gi-Oh! And the general impact it's had on my life. This is part 1 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Retrospective. What Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise means to me. My history with Yu-Gi-Oh! Starts in 2002. I had a cousin who was a couple years older than me and always introduced me to new and fun things, and vice versa. We'd spend weekends playing video games and swapping each other's games. Little did he know one of the series he introduced me to would be life-changing for me. I remember my first time seeing it. We were playing a game and I saw this shoebox full of these cards. Now of course, I was 5 at the time, so I had no idea what this was. We had a duel that just made up effects and didn't even do any attacks. I remember my first cards seeing were Baby Dragon, Waboku, and Bat. Yeah. A few days later, I was watching Cartoon Network and decided to check it out myself. And thus, an obsession was born. The first thing I ever saw of this show was a bird lady destroying a little fairy plush toy. And I was immediately hooked. Plus, I saw My Valentine for the first time. Ooh boy. Just kidding, obviously. Yu-Gi-Oh! Became my biggest obsession. I watched it whenever it came on. I'd even get up at like 6 a.m. on Saturdays just to watch it. I'd watch on Saturday mornings on the Fox Box. I'd watch in the evenings on Cartoon Network. At one point, I even daydreamed about being a character in the series. In fact, during school essays, it was often a topic of discussion. Heck, I even semi-wrote fanfiction at the time. I've never published any of it, and I probably never will. I kind of just mentally inserted myself into the series. Now, in my head, I kind of just imagined me there, just kind of doing things along with the main cast, just as part of the series, I even had my own boss monster. I used Moisture Creature. It was one of the first cards I ever got, and it was one of the first really powerful ones I got, so I decided to make it my mental boss monster. My first card pack came when they released those character card packs. My dad got me the Yugi one, and he got the Pegasus one since that was his favorite character. And we had duels. We didn't really know the rules, so they kind of went badly, but hey, we had fun with it, I think. So it's definitely a fond memory for me. And I'm going to be honest, I never actually played much of the card game. I've never been in a tournament or anything. And then, my cousin had moved to another state, so I couldn't play with him. My sister was way too young to get into the game. Nobody at my school was really into it, and aside from the sample duels me and my dad did, he couldn't really get into the game, and my parents weren't really into the game, so I never really had an interest in playing the game anyway. So I had some people I knew who thought I was using like tarot cards and was actually trying to summon real demons because they took what I was saying about the game literally. So I definitely got some weird looks at my church, so hey. Some of my fondest memories are actually the merchandise I used to own. While I don't have them anymore, I had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Beach towel, and I took it to school one time, I remember that. I also had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Birthday cake. Yeah, my parents ordered that for me, and it was my 8th birthday cake. Yu-Gi-Oh! In general has always reminded me of like Cartoon Network, so I always associated with it since I watched it along with a lot of the other Cartoon Network shows. Like, Cartoon Network was my life as a kid. I watched way too much of it, I think. So I kind of lumped watching Yu-Gi-Oh! In with watching like Ed, Edd and Eddy and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, freaking Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Totally Spies, even though that show's got a really bad reputation now. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just part of the channel, so I always just associated with it. Mentally, to me, it was always like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, just an action cartoon. Now, of course, my interest in the series did wane a little bit, but it also kind of didn't. At a certain point, the actual anime itself really hit a point where I just didn't care what was happening, to be honest. Which arc actually causes? Nah, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to watch the retrospective to figure that out. And I'll cover it when I get to it, trust me. My interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Always stayed, even if I didn't watch the series. One day, we were out shopping, and I'd be about 10 years old at this point. We go through the Dollar General, and I spot, in the DVD section, they have a couple Yu-Gi-Oh! DVDs. I picked them up right away. I remember exactly what they were. It was Master of Magicians from Season 2, and Best of Friends, Best of Duelists from Season 1. And these really helped keep my interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! I would literally watch these two DVDs over and over. The big reason why, well, they had recaps. In the bonus features, you could get a recap of the whole series up to that point in the trailers of the DVDs. The Season 1 DVD, which came out just before the match with Pegasus, basically just recapped the entire thing through its previews. So in a way, I got to rewatch the entire series in a short-form recap style, which was really awesome.
Coming soon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 9. Yugi has lost all his star chips and the only chance to save his grandfather.
Of course, as an adult, I still loved it. You know how most teenagers go through that, everything I liked when I was little is childish and immature and stupid? I kind of did go through that phase. But I had one exception, which was, you guessed it, Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, at 13 and 14, I remember watching episodes for free on YouTube. However, it wasn't just the DVDs. My family would find card boxes at yard sales and get them every time. This is my first card box. I got it when I was about 9 years old. The main thing that really helped me stay interested, though, the video games. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom was the first game I got for the series. Normally, I'm never interested in RPG games. But, since it was Yu-Gi-Oh!, I played it and I pushed through it. I played Duelist of the Roses, got lost, got confused, and I never picked it up again. But the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh! Game I've ever played, my all-time favorite, so much so that I did a Let's Play on it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum. I kid you not. Every weekend, throughout 6th and 7th grade, I rented that game. This was also shortly after my parents separated, so I guess Yu-Gi-Oh! is kind of my safe zone during hard times. And I remember every weekend, very vividly, it was Pizza Hut and Blockbuster to rent 2 new games. One of the games I got would always be Capsule Monster Coliseum. I never beat Capsule Monster Coliseum when I was a kid. I got stuck super early. I couldn't even beat 3 of the opponents in the second area. However, you can see my Let's Play of it on my second channel, linked below. And I rented that game consistently every weekend till that Blockbuster shut down, which was sad. And then that Blockbuster was having a going out of business sale on one of the last days you could go to it. And on that last day, the guy working there, they recognized me and they knew I rented that game a lot, and they saved it for me. I took it home and I still have that copy to this day. So it's sentimental to me. When it comes to the subversion, I was always kind of aware of it because, I browsed a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forums. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was one of the first things I ever started Googling, and I found the forums first. Now, on those old Pojo forums, there were pictures and screenshots, and I think even video clips of what the actual subversion looked like. There was even an old website that showed a lot of the changes and edits. But I think it's been lost to time, unfortunately, because this was 15 years ago. And seeing this stuff put a lot of things in perspective for me. As a kid, I saw Dark Energy discs, and I didn't think anything of it. Because, a lot of these shows have a lot of weird, stupid things that are fantasy and can hurt people, like Kryptonite or lightsabers. I never actually watched the sub version until about 2018. I discovered the website Crunchyroll, and it was for free on there. And this was around the time I was getting into anime, so I figured I'd check it out. And I fell in love with it again. It was like being a kid again. It really felt different seeing the raw, uncut version of the series I grew up with. And so that brings us to 2020. As you know, in 2020, the whole world shut down. I remember one of the last times before everything had to be shut down, I went to Goodwill and found a handful of DVDs from the show. Like 3 volumes from Season 1, the movie, and the Duel Master's Guide. And then, before I knew it, everyone got the news that the world was changing forever. And it hit me hard by the end of 2020, man. I wanted to recapture the old magic of my nostalgia. I bought the entire series, every volume, just so I could relive the glory days. The good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Nostalgia. I guess bad times just make people want to dive into nostalgia. At least it does for me. I don't know about other people. That's always been my way of dealing with it. Also, yeah, it's pretty obvious that My Valentine's my favorite character. Also, fun fact about this Funko Pop. I was originally planning to get it signed by Megan Hollingshead, Mai's original voice actress. She was doing a convention in my city. But unfortunately, I found out about it too late, and I wasn't able to go. I just couldn't arrange to go, which sucks. She was doing a convention near me. I really wish I could have gone, and I do hope someday I can get it signed, or get her signature somehow. Oh well. Speaking of merchandise, this is pretty much the last stand for Saturday morning cartoons. This is at a time when they basically want to turn these anime into merchandise-driven, toy-selling, 30-minute commercials. Much like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe back in the 80s. And I kid you not, there is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. There was a CD, I saw a school backpack once, there's food, strangely enough, Yu-Gi-Oh! Soap, which is kind of ironic considering the bad smell rule at tournaments, and even Happy Meal toys. Yep, anime was so pushed to kids that it got Happy Meal toys. How else did Yu-Gi-Oh! Impact me? Well, it actually impacted my taste in media in a lot of ways. I always liked how Duelist Kingdom worked with the star chips and everything, so I'd recreate that tournament formula with my wrestling figures. It also sparked my love of creative monster designs, and I really developed an appreciation for them. The biggest contribution, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the anime that got me in to anime. While I'd seen other anime like Pokemon and Inuyasha and Ghost in the Shell, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the first to make me think I wanted to see more of this stuff. This retrospective has been the main reason for me wanting to come back to YouTube. Unlike most of my childhood obsessions, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the one that stuck with me this long. Plus, since it's an old interest and not a fleeting fancy, I know I will probably never regret getting this done. That's right. It's the Eye of Horus, or the eye that's on all the Millennium items, basically. So, what will this retrospective accomplish? I'll be reviewing each Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc in its own video, doing a breakdown on the story, my critiques, opinions, and all that good stuff in between. And the main reason I'm doing this by arc is because this is a very long series. It's 224 episodes. So I'm going to be dedicating one video to each story arc. The idea came from this retrospective from Desh Shinta, who did a very well done Yu-Gi-Oh! Retrospective. I really enjoyed his retrospective. However, me and him definitely disagree on a lot of things. Desh Shinta is very anti-dub. I am very pro-dub. I love the dub. So, that will factor in a lot to it. I can't help but love the dub. It was an obsession for me. I love the cast. I love the music. I love everything about it. Despite the edits, I still think it was great. I mean, it was an obsession. I'm going to call it what it is. I am obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! Now keep in mind, I am someone who's actually seen both dub and sub of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I have the best of both worlds. I like both. So I've gotten the full experience both ways. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. This is just a little prologue to what to expect of this series. I was rewatching the show and it really reignited my love of YouTube, and I started having all these kinds of videos ideas about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. I can't explain it, but during this spell something really came over me and I just wanted to relive this childhood passion of mine. And I'm going to be reliving it with all of you. So I hope you enjoy. During this break I had tons of ideas all about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably going to be the main focus of the channel from now on, for a while at least. Now, what to expect for this series? It's going to be a mix of personal stories, critiques, and basically just things I wanted to talk about while watching the series. Now, of course, there will also be criticism because there are some things I don't like about the series. So, there will also be a lot of, does this still hold up today? Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you'll join me on this quest. This personal joy of reliving my childhood obsessions. I'll see you there, folks. Have a good one.